Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. One of the most common comments I get in all my videos is about these Boris Centipede work tables. So I thought I'd go ahead and make a quick video just going over the features and some pros and cons and what I like about them. And just to get it out of the way, this is not a sponsored video. My opinions are my own, and they would be if it was sponsored or not, but just to get it out of the way and save some of the negative comments, there we go. So I have the big 4-foot by 8-foot version here on the bottom, and I also have the 2x4. They make a 4x4, and I also believe they make a 4x6 version as well. I'll leave links to all the sizes with all the specs, so you can just click on the links and look into the specs yourself, but we'll go over the few here. On the 2x4, the max weight rating is 2,500 pounds, which is 1,133 kilograms, which that's a lot of weight. And this big 4x4 or 4x8 version is 6,000 pounds, which is 2,725 kilograms. Now, I've never parked my car on here to actually test that weight rating, but I do remember seeing a picture online of a whole bunk of plywood sitting on one of these 4x8 versions. So I thought that was pretty impressive when I was looking into getting this. Anything that I do, I don't do with anything that heavy. So these struts are all steel, along with these cross members here. It's all steel. This bottom foot and the sleeve and then the top is plastic. And when I say plastic, you know, there are hundreds of different grades or whatever, so I don't know exactly what it is, but it's a plastic material, but it's a high quality one. It's pretty hard stuff. So for a height on these, they're 30 inches. And let's go ahead and when it's collapsed, it's about 37 3/4. And there you can see one of the biggest pros to this is just how compact they fold up and take up hardly any space at all. They do have 6-inch risers that you can put on these struts to make the work surface even higher if you want it, which I should do to make it more even with my table saw, but I eventually plan on making a nice assembly table here with cabinets and everything, but I don't want to build it to the size for this saw because hopefully I'll upgrade this here soon. So in the meantime, this is just worth its weight in gold. It's been great in here in the shop. These legs on here will self-adjust to uneven surfaces. Not a great amount, but I found if you put weight on it, like this 4x8 sheet of plywood is heavy enough to put weight on all the struts to where they'll even out and it's dead flat. I'll show you that here in a second. But like on this 2x4 one, if you just put a small sheet of plywood on it, it's not going to be heavy enough to let all these struts level out. I'll take it outside here in a second. I'll show you that. So having a surface this flat to assemble furniture or anything like that is just really important. So that's what I really like about it here in the shop. Okay, it might not look like it on camera, but we're on a pretty good slope here and this ground is not level at all. You can see this side's not even touching the ground, so either is that one actually. But once I put weight on it, you can see everything adjusts and these all have really good contact. But like I said, I'm sitting on it, so just trying to use it like as a work table. It still has some unevenness to it. So I keep this sheet of plywood on here, 3/4 inch plywood, just as a work table. But another common question in all my videos is what I'm usually cutting on with a circular saw or track saw. And for that, I just throw on some 1-inch pink foam insulation that I can cut on, so I'm not just cutting into that plywood and wrecking it, so I still have a nice assembly surface. If you watched a couple videos ago of the farmhouse renovation that I was able to take some time and film for you guys, I just cut on this 1-inch foam the entire time when I was making the shiplap panels out of heavy MDF. So this foam was easily supported by the Centipede. I was able to cut right on top of it, work on top of it, and then carry this heavy sheet of plywood just to work on. That was the first time I had just used the foam like that, and it worked out great. All right, before I take this plywood off and show you collapsing this big one here, let's go over what it comes with. They do come with carrying bags. I've actually never used any of this. I've never used the bags or any of this stuff, but it does come with a bag. So speaking of durability, I've had the big one longer, probably over 2 years. I just throw it in the back of the truck, and it's held up great countless of times, in and out of the shop, in the back of the truck. But they do come with bags. They also come with these clamps. I'll show that here in a second. And then they come with these X clips. So like I said, I've never actually used these clamps. I just usually keep these folded inside like this. But they do come with these, and you could either hold something down to your top or just hold the top to the actual centipedes themselves. Just press it down in like that. It's like a cam. They work really good, actually. But like I said, I've never found the need to use them. I'd rather not have them in the way out here. They're not included, but they do sell like grip pads that would go on here. I think those would be better for me personally anyway. On these X brackets, they just go in these holes here on the legs. And they're the size to hold a 2x4, or I don't have a 2x4 right here, but here's a 4x4 fit right in there. So if you wanted to prop anything up like that, you have that option. Or you can turn them this way and you can stand it on edge. And once again, I don't have a 2x4, but here's a 2x6. I'm blessed to have a dedicated shop space where I can just leave this set up all the time. But where I see this being absolutely invaluable is for people that work out of a garage. Maybe you have to share the garage space with household or yard stuff, or you have to park cars inside, so you just want to set up and work for the day, but then you have to compact everything down. To have a full 4x8 work surface like this that just collapses to take up hardly any space, I just see that being absolutely invaluable. There you go. You can throw it in the back of the truck to go to work, set it up out in the yard, out in the driveway to work for the day, or you got to clean up in the garage and make space for the car. There you go. Now don't get me wrong, I still use cheap homemade wooden sawhorses every day just as much, but look how much less space this takes up when it's compacted, and when it's extended you have a fully supported workstation. These were extremely sturdy when I made them. Now they're loose, the legs wobble, so I'll probably drive some more screws in it to make them last a little bit longer. But if you actually use them, you gotta remake them all the time. So when you look at the price on these, it is absolutely worth it in my opinion. All right, let's talk about some cons. You probably saw when I had used those clamps, the whole table still shifted quite a lot. So I'd say if you're like a heavy hand tool woodworker, you're doing a lot of chiseling or planing or anything like that, it's just not going to be beefy enough for that. It's just simply not. It's going to move around too much and bounce around. But for regular power tool users, just assembling stuff, I don't know, just a general workbench, I think you're going to be more than happy. Uneven ground, it adjusts a little bit, but I mean, you're not going to be able to use it on a hill or anything too uneven. I mean, you still could with sawhorses because there's only 4 points of contact, but I mean, sawhorses aren't going to be straight either, so I don't really know if that's a negative. Price, that's always going to come down to opinion. In my opinion, you get what you pay for. Sure, you could build a lot of sawhorses for that price, but these have a lot more features in my opinion and will last a lot longer. So that's always just going to be an opinion thing. I know I'm going to forget some stuff we wanted to talk about, but another thing I really like is actually just using this to cut on. You don't always have to put a work surface on here. You can just cut right on top of it. Just say you run your circular saw or track saw right in between the struts. Either way, there's plenty of ways you can cut on it. And then when you're done with the cut, you don't have to worry about the piece falling, trying to catch it with one arm. It's supported enough, you can just sit here and hold it easily and it'll balance. And then when you're done with the cut, it's nice, it'll fall right in and land on these struts inside and just hold it, so you don't have to worry about damaging anything. This is something I do use the storage bag for. This is something purchased separately. It came out not too long ago. It's actually made some MDF workbench tops. So it's 3/4 inch MDF. It's got dog holes drilled in it. And then it just opens up to give you a 2x4 foot work surface. So here it is on my 2 foot by 4 foot centipede. It comes with a way to attach it to the centipede using these cam locks right here. Now buying this is something I could live without, but it is nice to have. I actually planned on making my own with the dog holes, but Boar just came out with this not too long ago, and when I looked at the price, it was pretty reasonable considering you'd have to buy the MDF. They put a hinge on it, which I wasn't even thinking about doing that. I was just going to carry around, I was going to make mine 3 foot by 5 foot though for this size of table, which I think I would like better if it was a foot bigger each way. But nonetheless, they have a solution to attach it to the centipede. It's flush and out of the way. It comes with the carrying bag. And like I said, by the time I bought the MDF, I don't have a CNC, so paying someone to drill these so they're actually perfect 90 degrees and usable for stops and jigs and clamps and stuff like that, it just, the price that they were just made sense. At the time of posting this video, I just looked, and I think they must be out of stock because there's only a couple third-party sellers that have them listed, and the price is absolutely ridiculous. They've jacked the price way up. So if you're interested in this and you look at that, I would just wait until the price seems reasonable, because right now it's ridiculous what someone's trying to sell these for on there. All right, I'm sure I forgot some important stuff that I wanted to mention, but if you have any questions, just leave a comment down below or drop a comment. Just let me know what you think about these in general. Obviously, a lot of this stuff is just opinions. Just because it works great for me, it might not be for you. If your workflow is different, you know, what size you get. I think I'd really like a 4x4 one as well, so maybe I'll get that here soon. But like I said, a lot of this is just opinions and tons of comments on all my other videos, so I just wanted to make this to point people towards if they want more information on it. So thanks for watching. Please like the video, and if you're not already, please subscribe. I really appreciate it. Take care.